Welcome to Year-End Close 2013 for SDN Computer Consultants. My name is Tim Sparks, and I will be taking you through this year-end close. The year-end closing procedures need to start with you creating the next fiscal year in your fiscal year calendar. You want to make sure all periods are closed in that fiscal year calendar except the current month. Post all final transactions in all modules except the GL, and complete the month-end and quarter-end procedures for all modules except the GL. A couple of important points to go over before you begin the year-end close. You want to make sure your balance sheet accounts are set to balance sheet accounts, and your profit and loss accounts are set to profit and loss accounts. For a guide on how to check this easily through SmartList, visit sdnllp.com or click on the link on the slide. Very important, make sure you make a backup before closing. Not only before beginning your close, but before closing any module. You also need to make sure that you have space on your hard drive to do the close. And make sure that you have the Maintain History for Accounts and Transactions option marked in the GL setup. Dynamics GP year-end close needs to be done in a specific order: inventory, receivables management, payables management, fixed asset management, and then the general ledger. There are several modules with no year-end closing. These include purchase order processing, sales order processing, the invoicing module, service call management, human resources, collections management, and the bill of materials. The first module we'll be closing will be inventory. Before you close inventory, make sure you post all transactions for the current year, reconcile inventory quantities using the utilities, complete a physical inventory count, and then post any adjustments, print any additional reports that are required, and make sure you make a backup before beginning the inventory close. The inventory year-end close updates the amount in the beginning quantity for each item. It'll zero the quantity sold field in the item quantities maintenance window for each site. It's going to remove purchase receipts and cost change history for all items that have been completely sold. It's also going to remove any discontinued items from the item records that have been completely sold. It's going to remove any lot attributes from the records of lot numbered items if they have been completely sold. And then it's going to go ahead and update the standard costs, either using the FIFO or LIFO method depending on which method you have chosen. To get to the inventory year-end close, we'll go to Tools, Routines, Inventory, and then year-end close. Once we have the year-end close window open, you'll notice three checkboxes that we discussed earlier. You have the option to remove discontinued items, remove sold lot attributes, and remove sold receipts and cost change history prior to a set date. You also have the option to update an item's standard cost. By checking the Update Item Standard Cost, you'll be updating the item standard cost based off of the valuation method you have selected, FIFO or LIFO. When you have selected all the options that you want, click Process to start the year-end close process. When the year is being closed, you will be unable to post, reconcile quantities, change valuation methods, or change decimal places for items. Please keep a copy of the year-end close paperwork that prints out for your record-keeping purposes. After inventory has been closed, we can move on to receivables management. Some key points to remember about closing receivables. You want to make sure all transactions are posted for the current year. Receivables management is not completely date sensitive, meaning that if you do not close the year after you enter all the 2013 transactions, but before you enter the 2014 transactions, some areas in GP will contain incorrect information. You want to make sure you print any reports you need, and always make a backup before you begin the close. To get to the receivables year-end close, we'll go to Tools, Routines, Sales, and then year-end close. We'll be using the words receivables and sales interchangeably during this year-end close. You want to make sure that you create a backup before you start the year-end close and put this in a safe place. This will allow you to restore back to your last point in time if something does happen during the year-end close. Once you get to the year-end close window, you'll see if you are closing both fiscal year and the calendar year at the same time, you'll click the All button. If you're only closing the calendar year, click Calendar. If you're only closing the fiscal year, then click Fiscal. We recommend that you keep paper copies of the year-end reports together with any of the permanent year-end audit records. Once your options are selected as you'd like them, click Process, and this will close the year-end for receivables. We are now on to Payables Management year-end. A few key points to remember. Post all your payables transactions before closing the year-end. Make sure that the transactions for the new year, 2014, are saved in batches and not posted. The 1099 information will not auto-populate if the transactions were not processed as 1099 transactions at the time of posting. This is why it's very important to have your 1099 vendors set up correctly. And of course, make a backup. To begin the Payables Management year-end close, we'll go to Tools, Routines, Purchasing, Year-end Close. Don't forget, make sure you have a backup before you start this. When you get to the Payables year-end close window, you see that you'll have three options. You can either close the calendar year, the fiscal year, or both by clicking All. Once you have the options selected that you want, whether you're closing the fiscal calendar or both, go ahead and click Close Year, and that will process the year-end close for Payables Management. After closing Payables and Receivables Management in Dynamics GP, it is now time to do the tax year-end close. To do that, we'll go to Tools, Routines, Company, Tax year-end close. When you're on the tax year-end close window, you'll see a checkbox for Close Year. Go ahead and check that box, click Process, and this was what closes the sales tax periods for the year. Thank you for watching the Year-End Close 2013 for Dynamics GP presented by SDN Computer Consultants. Today, we reviewed how to close inventory, receivables, and payables. Our next year-end video will feature the closing procedures for fixed assets, analytical accounting, and the general ledger. Please visit www.sdnllp.com for more information. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.